What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy EazyMoneyX back, and today we doing the NFL playoff bracket. So I just wanted to fill this out real quick because I love football. I watch ball no matter what team, what game. My personal team is the Colts though, but that won't affect the bracket too much. All right, so let's get into the first matchup. I'm gonna start on the left side. We're gonna go Houston and Indianapolis. Straightforward. I got Indianapolis winning that game. They're hotter, better at QB. The defense isn't better than Houston's per se, but they don't give up big plays. They were first in the league in fewest deep balls allowed, so there's that. And then on top of that, they have a top 10 run defense. Haven't allowed a single 100-yard rusher against them all year. So, but I do like Houston though. I just think they're kind of thin, especially at receiver right now, missing two of their top 3 receivers. So they're going to have to rely on their defense this game. That's why I got Indianapolis winning this one. Plus, they're the hotter team. So it would be Indy versus KC since Indy's the 6th seed. Now we can get on to LA versus Baltimore. And in that game, man, it was a close one last game. But as you know, Baltimore won. But I do think the Chargers will take it this time. It is true you can't prepare for a team like Lamar Jackson. And I think that kind of stunned the Chargers the first time they played them. But now they've seen them. And in this league, it's hard to beat a good team twice, especially in such short amount of weeks. I got to go with LA on this one. They're the deeper team. Their defense isn't as good, but it's still a good defense. They're loaded. Yeah, I'm going with LA over Baltimore. Oh, man, and I forgot the experience factor. Phillip Rivers been to the playoffs. He knows. He knows what he's going to see. So, yeah, LA over Baltimore. So that'll make the next round Indy versus KC and New England versus LA Chargers. Next, we're going to go to the NFC. We're going to go Chicago versus Philly. And man, this is honestly, in my opinion, a pick 'em. Like this game right here is a crazy game to try to pick. I want to say Philly. I feel like they have the better personnel and they have a better offense. But Chicago also has solid weapons on offense, and that defense can get after you. And they create a lot of turnovers. Honestly, I'm going to go with Chicago right here. I'm going to go with Chicago just because they have home. When it's that close, home can make a difference. And Philly's defense, especially their secondary, they're pretty depleted right now. That secondary, whew, boy. And in this next game, I'm picking Dallas over Seattle. I'm picking Seattle over Dallas. What is wrong with me? I'm picking Seattle over Dallas because last time I saw Dallas in the playoffs, Dak Prescott looked great. He looked great, I can't lie. But right now, I think Seattle has the better QB. Russell Wilson's having a terrific year. He's great at the deep ball. They have the #1 rushing offense. So they're at least not gonna give it up. They're not gonna leave the run game. So even if they're not running well, they still gonna continue to run. And that's gonna keep Dallas honest. Seattle's defense isn't what it once was, but it's still incredibly gritty. Yeah, I like Seattle right here. And then Indianapolis, Kansas City. It's going to be a fun game. Kansas City got home. It's going to be super tough for Indianapolis to stop that offense. That's definitely going to be a high-scoring game because Kansas City's defense is absolutely pathetic. I feel like Indy won't give a deep ball up in that game. They'll try to keep everything under them, even if it means giving up 1,000 checkdowns that go for 10 yards. But I'm going to say I like Indy in this game because of the playoff experience. I feel like this team has something to prove. Kansas City, ever since they lost Kareem Hunt, they haven't been the same. They've been dropping some games. And Pat Mahomes hasn't really shown up in the big games. He really hasn't. Take from that what you will. So I'm going Indy right here. And, here's where the people will call me crazy. It is what it is. I got Indy right here. And then New England, LA. This is a tough one right here. I'm going to go LA. I'm definitely going to go LA Chargers. New England, I've seen too much pathetic play from that defense. I've seen too much erratic play from that offense. They got guys on the offense that are just a shell of themselves. Tom is still Tom. Hey, Tom is still Tom. I can't knock him. He's a legend. He understands the system like nothing else. Bill Belichick, genius. but you really can't overcome a team like LA just off mental. You got to have the talent too. When New England doesn't have the talent LA has, they're loaded at every position. That's true. Some positions twice over. So I'm going LA right here. All right, Rams Chicago. We saw this match late in the season, and Bears took it. It was a close one. I think it was like 15-7 or 15-9, something like that, something in that range. Chicago won. But look, Chicago was at home and they barely won. LA Rams at home. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I feel like they've seen it now. They know what they're getting. Mitch Trubisky is gonna have to make big plays. He's gonna have to be the reason they win this game. He can't rely on the defense. Not this late. In the playoffs, Mitch Trubisky's gonna have to make something happen. And he's never been to the playoffs. Jared Goff has, even though it was a pitiful performance, he's been to the playoffs. So I'm going with the LA Rams, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was pretty handily. There's no way they get manhandled defensively like that again. Not with the personnel they have, not with the experience they have. They should be solid. All right, New Orleans, Seattle, tough one, but I gotta go New Orleans. What I mean when I say tough one, I don't think New Orleans is just gonna come in there and stomp on them. I don't think it's gonna happen. Now, I don't think Seattle's gonna win, and I don't even think they're gonna I don't think it's gonna come down to the final, like a kick or something like that. I think they'll lose by 7-10, something like that. Seattle, I mean, they're gritty, and Russell Wilson is experienced, champion, knows how to read defenses, knows how to make it competitive. But New Orleans is just too stacked. They are absolutely stacked, especially on offense. Their defense is solid. I'm not gonna call the defense stacked. The defense is solid. That secondary is probably their weakest point, and even the secondary is pretty solid. So yeah, I'm going with New Orleans. They're gonna make it tough on Russell Wilson. But I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle pulled it off. I would not. Okay. Now, Indy, LA. I'm going LA. Here, it's the end of the line for Indy. That's my team, but we don't have the personnel to keep pulling off upset after upset after upset. Not yet, at least. We have incredible potential. I think when the lines open up next year, I think we'll be top 3 to win. But this year, LA, man, they're stacked. They're experienced. They got a running back, wide out, quarterback, 2 DNs, a corner, 2 corners, a safety. I mean, golly. And in the NFC, I got New Orleans. We saw this game already. It was a high-scoring game between the two teams. The difference now is LA has lost Cooper Kupp. The Rams have lost some pieces since then. They've lost some pieces. Guys is banged up right now. New Orleans is relatively healthy. They're at home. Run game, pass game, got it all. They've seen the Rams. They know what they want to do. Yeah, I got to go with the with the Saints. So Super Bowl, I got LA Chargers versus the New Orleans Saints, and that'll be a great game. These two teams match up well against each other. New Orleans definitely wouldn't be able to stop anything the Chargers do in the pass game. They would have a tough time on Melvin Gordon. Vice versa. New Orleans will make it tough on LA. But when you think about that LA Chargers defense, I mean, they got pass rushers, more pass rushers than New Orleans. The secondary is loaded. But I think the experience of Drew Brees will get it done. We talking about the Saints, a guy that's been to the Super Bowl. We talking about Sean Payton, a guy that's been to the Super Bowl. The game plan is going to be the reason the Saints win it. There will be wrinkles. Every Super Bowl, they got like a play or a wrinkle or a moment. Sean Payton if he gets there, Sean Payton will have something up his sleeve. He won't let a team like the Chargers, not the Chargers, man. I mean, they're a great team, but Super Bowl caliber, So yeah, I got the Saints winning it all. I hope I'm wrong because I don't like the Saints. I don't. But there you have it. Those are my predictions. I could see this being entirely wrong, but hey, it is what it is. It's your boy EazyMoneyX. Tell me what you guys think is gonna happen in the comments. Who do you guys think is gonna win? Peace.